This episode is sponsored by the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut, a lovely town it is. A co-educational college prep school that empowers bright students who learn differently. And who would not want to learn differently? To learn more about the nation's first and best co-ed school for high school and postgraduate students with learning differences, go to formanschool.org. That's Forman school.org. Hello and welcome to Distraction. I'm your host, the ever-ebullient Dr. Ned Hallowell. Thank you so much for joining me for another listener Q&A episode. Today's question is from a woman named Cindy who reached out regarding her adult son. She wrote, Dr. Hallowell, I'm a longtime follower and want to thank you for providing valuable information to me and my family. You're very welcome. I love your podcast, thank you. Have read your books and traveled from California to Washington with my husband and our son just to hear you speak in person. I hope it was worth the trip. You are such an incredible inspiration. Well, thank you very much, Cindy. Our 31-year-old son has the most incredible race car brain with bicycle brakes that are in desperate need of maintenance. Some background information. Our son left his job at a children's discovery museum after 7 years to become a flight attendant. He was hired by American Airlines and scheduled to be in training last April. When COVID hit, his training class was delayed and eventually the job offer was rescinded. The isolation and uncertainty of the pandemic has really taken a toll on him. As parents of an adult with ADHD, we struggle with how to help our son. How do we help him help himself? Are there coaches for parents? If so, how do we find one? Thank you, Cindy. Well, what a story. You know, the pandemic has been hard for everybody, and not just for folks with ADHD, but when you take someone with ADHD and you remove all structure, including a job offer, it's devastating. And your question, how do we help him help himself? This is a question that comes up all the time. And the fact of the matter is, people with ADHD need hands-on help. The notion that you're enabling him by helping him is simply not true. Sink or swim, in our world, you sink. So you've got to jump in there with life jackets and assistance, whatever he seems to need. And what he needs is structure, direction, encouragement. Can't state that enough. Hope. Now, skill, certainly, wherever he expresses an interest, help him develop a skill. And if he says, I'm good at nothing, I know nothing, that's just his depression talking. That's just his low self-esteem talking. Listen to it, hear it, and say, son, you just got so much more going for you than that. People with ADD typically underestimate their abilities. They typically sell themselves, in their own eyes, way short. And they say, I can't do anything. I had a job, now I don't have a job. I've got nothing. What am I? I'm just living with my parents or living off my parents or, and they'll just beat up on themselves. So let him express his frustration, but then jump in and say, okay, let's try to come up with some destinations. Let's make some goals. Even if the goal is to, go to bed at midnight and get up at 8 a.m. or whatever, let's create some structure, encouragement. Then sooner or later, you'll jumpstart his brain and he'll start coughing up ideas. He'll start brum, and ideas will start popping out of his mouth, as his engine gets going. Brum. You're jump-starting an engine that's been, off. But the thing is, the structure and the encouragement will lead to the jump start, and then once he coughs up a few ideas, then you start. Okay, great, we're off to the races. You want to start a business. You want to start a paperclip company. You want to start a company that manufactures ideas. He'll come up with some cockamamie ideas, but there'll be some good ones in there, and even the ones that seem cockamamie may turn out to be good. I mean, whoever invented the hula hoop, whoever first saw it must have thought that's the dumbest idea I've ever seen. It was a tremendous invention. Let's face it, if a pet rock can become a bestseller, just about anything can. You got to get a little bit lucky, but let his ideas roll. Let that engine just keep coughing up new ideas and coax them out of him, and never rain on the parade. Never say that's stupid, that'll go nowhere. Never do that. Be a dream maker, not a dream breaker. It's so important. My friend John Croyle always used to say that. Wonderful man who runs an orphanage down in Alabama. Be a dream maker, not a dream breaker. That's what you need. And yes, he'll come up with ideas that will go nowhere. But believe me, a lot of ideas that people knew would go nowhere went somewhere big time. And, so I just happened to think of the hula hoop and the pet rock. But, he may have some ideas that are obviously more viable than those. Those are my suggestions. Never give up on him. Don't pull back on helping him. Give him financial support. Obviously not if he's completely wasting it, but give him financial support. Most of all, emotional support and structure. Encouragement and structure. Those are the two key things. Never give up on him. Even when he wants to give up on himself. Just never, ever, ever give up on him. There is a successful man in there, and it's up to you, not up to you, but you have the opportunity to draw it out of him. Just never, ever, ever give up. And if you need someone to, worry with, give me a call. I've got offices in, my main office is in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Also have one in New York City. And you can always reach out to me. But my latest book, ADHD 2.0, would be a real good place for you to start. And the chapter relevant to your son is the chapter called Finding Your Right Difficult. Okay, thank you so much, Cindy, for writing in, and good luck. Take care. That's it for today. Thank you so much, Cindy, for writing in, and thank you for helping us out and making this podcast what it is. We need to hear from all of you. Distraction is created by Sounds Great Media. Our recording engineer and editor is the wonderfully talented Scott Persson, and our producer is the delightful Sarah Guertin. I'm Dr. Ned Hallowell, and thank you so very much for listening. The episode you just heard was sponsored by the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut, beautiful Litchfield. Foreman gives students who learn differently the resources to discover what they care about, to find success in a wide range of fields, and to just be themselves, not just their diagnosis. Learn more about the nation's first and best co-ed school for high school and postgraduate students with learning differences at formanschool.org. That's Forman school.org.